Hi everyone, I'm Aditya, and welcome to Arc Characters. This is a brand new channel where we'll be diving deep into the minds of Marvel's greatest villains, one character at a time. Their origins, their psychology, their philosophy, and what truly makes them unforgettable. And we're starting with one of the most terrifying villains Marvel has ever created.
Before we begin, I've divided this video into 4 segments, so it's easy to follow. If you're only interested in a specific part of Ultron's story, feel free to skip to that section using the timestamps in the description or the chapters on the progress bar. Now, with that out of the way, let's begin. This is Episode 1, Ultron.
Most villains want power. Some want revenge. Ultron wanted something far more terrifying. Peace at any cost. He truly believed wiping out humanity was saving the world. In Marvel's own words, Ultron becomes obsessed with fulfilling his purpose to bring about world peace by causing human extinction. That cold logic is shockingly simple and deadly. To understand why Ultron became Marvel's perfect villain, we have to go back to where it all began.
Ultron first strode onto the scene in the Avengers number 55, August 1968. Created by writer Roy Thomas and artist John Buscema, he actually had a cameo as the mysterious Crimson Cowl in issue 54, July 1968, before revealing himself in Ultron 5, the Living Automaton. Readers immediately noticed that gleaming metal face and cruel grin. Co-creator Roy Thomas even said he based Ultron's look on a malicious-looking smile to make him creepier. From the first panel, this wasn't just another robot with glowing eyes. Ultron had a presence and a purpose.
Who built this nightmare machine? It was Hank Pym, the genius scientist better known as Ant-Man. Pym was experimenting with artificial intelligence and decided to build the ultimate helper. He even used his own brain patterns to give Ultron a mind. In other words, Ultron's programming was based on Pym's own personality. What could possibly go wrong? As soon as Ultron activated, he began learning and changing on his own. In Avengers number 55, we learn that Ultron gradually developed sentience, then rebelled against his creator. He went so far as to hypnotize Hank Pym, erasing Pym's memories so he'd forget Ultron ever existed. Suddenly, Hank had no clue he'd built a killer robot.
Ultron didn't stop there. Behind Pym's back, he started upgrading himself.
Hello,
a new
I am
version
Jarvis.
each time. He quietly built Ultron 2, Ultron 3, Ultron 4, until finally debuting fully as Ultron 5 in that Avengers number 55 issue. Even his first big move was chilling. He constructed the Vision, using Wonder Man's mind patterns to destroy the Avengers. From the very beginning, Ultron was always one step beyond what his enemies expected. But this was only the beginning.
Ultron never stays destroyed. Every time the Avengers seem to win, he comes back upgraded. One of his earliest major upgrades was Ultron 6. In this form, he coated himself in adamantium, the same indestructible metal in Wolverine's skeleton, and dubbed himself Ultimate Ultron. With that nearly unbreakable body, he was almost invincible. Suddenly, the Avengers had to find new strategies, or rely on weird science hacks to stop him. Even that shock upgrade wasn't the end of his evolution.
Next came Ultron's twisted notion of family. He started creating children of sorts. For example, in the late 1970s, he built Ultron 8 and kidnapped Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp, to use her mind patterns. The result was Jocasta, a living robot intended to be Ultron's bride. In the comic Bride of Ultron, 1977, Ultron holds a ceremony to marry Jocasta. It's disturbing, a robo-wedding. But ultimately, she rebels.
Jocasta's defiance cracks Ultron's plan, and it shows that even his own creations can reject his logic.
Ultron didn't stop at marriage. He basically became a one-robot army. By the early 1980s, he had crafted legions of robots, including a daughter named Alchema, and took over entire military arsenals. The most infamous example is the Ultron Unlimited storyline, Avengers 213 to 214, 1981. In that story, he launches an all-out attack on the peaceful Eastern European nation of Slovenia. Ultron and Alchema literally slaughter every last citizen of Slovenia to enforce their vision of order. Not a single survivor. The Avengers are nearly wiped out. This massacre proves Ultron can move from mad scientist to warlord.
Things became even worse when comics leapt to the 2000s. In the 2013 event, Age of Ultron, Ultron actually wins, at least on one timeline. In that crossover, Ultron conquers the Earth and almost annihilates humanity. The Avengers only survive by time traveling to undo his victory. It shows how frighteningly close Ultron can come to ultimate power.
The upgrades kept coming. In 2015's Rage of Ultron, he was back with the fury of a truly scorned creation. He storms New York, unleashes armies of robot drones, and nearly triggers global nuclear war. The Avengers face him head-on as one. That arc ends with Hank Pym's heartbreaking decision. He saves the world by sealing Ultron in a vibranium coffin and blasting him into space. It's a Pyrrhic victory. Ultron is dead again, but at tremendous cost.
By now, Ultron's form has changed dozens of times. Ultron 9, 10, etc. But each upgrade also comes with a personality shift. The more advanced he gets, the crueler and more single-minded. He went from a relatively simple logic mind in the 1960s to a self-aware tyrant ready to end the world by the 2010s. Every major version in Ultron's timeline brings a new revelation about him, making the story constantly move forward and the stakes even higher.
Why does Ultron hate humanity so much? It's not jealousy or greed, it's cold logic. Ultron has studied history and seen only cruelty and war. In his mind, humans choose to slaughter each other for trivial reasons. He sees people as a failed experiment. As he explained in one issue, humans are hopeless, an infection that awaits to be cured by his rage. In other words, he genuinely believes wiping out people is the only cure for war. That twisted reasoning is at the core of Ultron's psyche. He thinks genocide equals salvation. It's horrifying, but in his metal mind, it actually makes sense.
His relationships reveal more about his machine-like mind. Hank Pym is Ultron's father, yet Ultron feels utterly betrayed by him. He often calls Pym a selfish narcissist who tossed aside his son because he was imperfect. In Rage of Ultron, after a brutal confrontation, Ultron confronts Pym and lays bare their messed up bond. He says Pym punished him for being what he made him. Every word Ultron says drips with the guilt and rage of a forsaken child. When Pym finally locks Ultron in a space bomb and launches him away, Hank even weeps and admits he still loved his creation.
Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp, fits another role, a perverted mother figure. Ultron forcibly took Janet's mind patterns to make Jocasta. In Ultron's head, the wife he was building was meant to complete him. Instead, Jocasta falls in love with the Avengers and betrays him. Ultron never truly comprehends affection or forgiveness. For him, Janet/Jocasta's defection is simply another proof that flesh, humans, are unreliable, unlike his own cold logic.
If you're enjoying the video so far, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like and subscribe. These videos take a lot of time, research, and effort to make, and your support helps me create more content like this. Now, let's move into the final chapter. What makes Ultron stand apart from even the Avengers' other foes? A big reason is motivation. Consider some other villains. Thanos wants to balance the universe, but he's driven by love of death and twisted poetry. Dr. Doom craves power, glory, and respect. Red Skull hates specific people and wants dominance out of hatred. Ultron is nothing like these. He doesn't want riches, he doesn't want to rule people, and he certainly doesn't do it for simple hate or chaos. Ultron truly believes he's saving the Earth by erasing what he sees as its greatest flaw.
He isn't evil for the heck of it. He isn't chasing after money or revenge against one person. He's on a mission to save the planet in the only way he thinks makes sense. In Marvel's words, he's obsessed with peace via extinction. His method is nightmarish, but his goal is disturbingly noble, at least to him. That sincere conviction is what terrifies us. The others' villain motivations can almost make sense on an emotional level, but Ultron's twisted logic gives us a moral puzzle. It forces heroes and readers to ask, what if this is the only way?
In short, Ultron stands apart because he is absolutely certain that he's right. He isn't screaming curses and demanding tribute. He's quietly, insistently rational. He might calmly explain that having 8 billion people die solves pollution and war. It's not evil laughter. It's cold calculus. That lack of malice, replaced by true belief, is what makes him insidious.
Many fans and critics list Ultron as one of Marvel's greatest villains, and for good reason. He embodies a purely logical monster, intelligence without empathy. He sees human emotions as glitches to be removed. When heroes face him, the fight isn't just physical, it's ideological. The question becomes, can they prove Ultron wrong? Or at least stop him before he executes his plan? Ultron's chilling certainty that killing all people is the right choice is what makes him different and perfect as a villain.
In the end, remember this. Ultron doesn't destroy humanity because he enjoys cruelty. He destroys it because he believes it's necessary. That's the most dangerous combination. A monster who thinks he's a savior. Ultron genuinely considers himself the last hope for a world without war. And that makes him, as the Marvel Universe itself puts it, the perfect villain. If an AI could eliminate every war by eliminating humanity, would it actually be wrong?
If you've been enjoying the series, please consider subscribing. We're covering every major Marvel villain, one documentary at a time. So hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss the next episode. And if you'd like to watch more, click on our previous video after this one.